The U.S. Supreme Court has upheld a federal gun control law meant to protect domestic violence victims. In an 8-1 ruling, this keeps the law in place and it bans someone from possessing a firearm if they've been the subject of a domestic violence restraining order. It all stems from a case involving a North Texas appeal that there was an order saying it was unconstitutional. Well, this reverses a ruling from a federal appeals court in New Orleans, which struck down that law. Joining us now in the studio is the Houston Area Women's Center Deputy Sonia Corrales to talk about the development and what this could mean for other victims in the future. So Sonia, first off, I was going to ask you, what's your reaction to this ruling?
Well, of course, we are very glad. We are very happy that it was upheld. I mean, this is such an important conversation that we should be having about domestic violence, and this again shows that the safety of humans, the safety of people who are in domestic violence situations has been prioritized over somebody who is dangerous and giving them access to guns.
When you talk to domestic violence victims and they hear that they can access these guns when it was allowed, what is their reaction? Because I couldn't imagine just what they're feeling.
Yeah, well, one of the things to know is that in domestic violence situation, the #1 thing that kills domestic violence victims are guns. And if you are in a home and if you're a domestic violence survivor with your children, your chances of dying with a gun increases by 500%. It's also the most dangerous time, you know, when somebody leaves. So you can imagine somebody who is a domestic violence survivor trying to leave, getting a protective order as they should, then still fearing that they're going to get killed by the very thing that is supposed to protect them.
And if someone is watching or knows someone who is currently a victim of domestic violence, obviously leaving is the hardest part. What is some advice you can give them?
Well, one of the things is, I do want to say that domestic violence is a problem in our community. Mm-hmm. It's not just a problem of the survivor trying to leave that situation, and leaving is a process, you know, it's not a single event. So safety planning is critical for survivors, making sure that they have a support system, so friends, family, you know, we have a 24-hour hotline at the Houston Area Women's Center that can help somebody safety plan. Obviously, if they're in a dangerous situation, immediately calling law enforcement, calling 911 to get out of that situation. When they call us, we're able to help them with services and information about safety planning, about lethality assessment. And lethality assessment is a tool that we use where we ask somebody about 20 questions about what their likelihood of dying is. And sometimes people don't really think about that. They don't think that this could potentially be more dangerous when they're leaving.
Yes, I think that's such valuable information, and you were just looking at some resources there. I think the biggest thing is people need to know there is hope out there and there is a solution. They just need to start the process because no one should be put in that situation.
Absolutely, and it's never the survivor's fault. Help is always available, and if you are a friend or family of a survivor, make sure that you learn about what domestic violence is, be able to recognize it, be able to respond in a way that is not blaming, and then be able to refer to an organization like the Houston Area Women's Center. We provide services, you know, to survivors, have been doing it for 47 years, but we also are advocates, and we work at the legislative level. We work, you know, changing policy and really working towards these protections for survivors in our community.
Well, I really appreciate everything that you all do for the community there. Thank you so much for coming here and talking to us about this.
Thank you so much.